Hey, what up? This your boy David Lucas, man. Right back at ya. I missed y'all, man. I hope y'all enjoyed the roast video from when I was in Poughkeepsie, and I hope you enjoyed that street talk when I was in DC. I got a couple of more things rolling out. It'll be rolling out probably before the end of the month. But anyway, make sure y'all check my website, davidlucascomedy.com, and check out those tour dates. I did cancel the show in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I apologize about that, y'all. I had to cancel. I had something else come up. But anyway, man, let's get into it. So today, a lot of you people who follow the news see that BLM has struck again. A Minneapolis mom who was targeted by gunmen, she actually confronted the BLM protesters. Let's watch the video and then we'll get into it.
The shot went through my, there was casings in the hallway. The shot went through my door to the pillar to the kitchen. I was cooking food for my kids. He shouldn't know. It doesn't matter. He shouldn't have been dead. Y'all should have came and helped him when he was alive.
Yeah, a lot of anger and frustration from the mother who lived next door to Hughley Sundberg. An emotional evening as Arabella Yarborough recounts the night of the hours-long standoff at her Minneapolis apartment complex. That 6-hour standoff Thursday morning ending with police shooting Hughley Sundberg multiple times, killing him. Today, community members gathered for a protest against police violence. Mary McGuire joins us now, and Mary, tensions running very high as family remembers the man who was killed.
And Karen, as you heard, there are some powerful and very contentious moments at that rally for Hughley Sundberg, who was shot and killed by Minneapolis police early Thursday morning. Now, this afternoon, just as the protest was starting to get underway against police violence, the woman who lived in the apartment directly next door to Hughley showed up. Her name is Arabella Yarborough, and she says she was cooking dinner for her 2 young children on Wednesday night when bullets began flying through her walls. She shared these photos of the aftermath of the shooting with us that show multiple bullet holes through her front door and through her bathroom wall. She confronted the family of Hughley, saying she had 5 minutes to live while Hughley had 6 hours to choose life or death.
That man was armed. George Floyd was not armed. Breonna Taylor was not armed. Amir Lockett, he was armed, and he had his own guns, but they came into his home while he's licensed to carry and killed him. He did not shoot fire. This man intentionally tried to kill us.
We can feel terribly for this woman, but also remember that Hughley should be here with us, and he should be alive, and we can ask the Minneapolis Police Department to do better.
Do better?
Now, that was Jeff Storms, the attorney for the Sundberg family. Sundberg's parents were also at this protest. They adopted Hughley from Ethiopia when he was just 4 years old. They also expressed their remorse for everything that Yarborough experienced on the night of the standoff. They say the shooting through her apartment walls and the killing of their son are 2 separate incidents that should have been handled in very different ways. Now, attorney Jeff Storms says that he has requested that the family of Hughley view any body camera video that perhaps was caught the night of the shooting. The city attorney's office says that they are pouring through all of that footage now and that it will be shown to the family before it is released to the public. We still don't have a timeline on when that could all happen. Reporting live in Minneapolis tonight, Mary McGuire.
Did his attorney really say do better? Do better than what? The dude, the guy, the young man, 20 years old, shot through an apartment with a lady who had her kids in there. She was cooking. You saw the same photos I just saw. It looked like the bullets hit right above her sink, on her mirror, through her front door. Those babies could have been washing their hands, brushing their teeth, whatever they do in preparation before they eat dinner. I agree with the lady. She went there and she put her emotions on the line. The police needs to be held responsible because they did their job. You have a gun. You shoot in somebody's apartment for maybe no reason. I don't know the reason. I don't know what the reason will come out. But you shoot in somebody's apartment and you don't expect to be shot at by the police? Let's read this article. So the Minneapolis mom could be seen on video confronting the Black Lives Matter protesters gathered outside the home of a man who was fatally shot by police after a tense 6-hour standoff. A 6-hour standoff, which I don't know, could be in my mind, they didn't want to shoot him. They were trying to negotiate with him for 6 hours, and whatever transpired, I don't know, maybe a weapon was produced. We'll see the body cam footage shortly. The mother, Arabella Foss Yarbrough, called police last Wednesday after her neighbor, Andrew Teckle Sundberg, allegedly fired shots into her apartment as she was cooking for her 2 young children. The gunman was eventually shot dead Thursday morning by 2 Minneapolis police snipers. So this thing went overnight. A pistol with an extended magazine and several bullet casings was recovered from his apartment. This is not she stated, this is her quote, this is not a George Floyd situation. You heard her screaming that. George Floyd was unarmed. This is not okay. She was yelling at the protesters. I get it. This is what I don't like, and let me go into that. Regardless of the circumstances of the shooting, BLM activists, including Traherne Cruz, a lead organizer for BLM Minnesota, gathered outside the building on Saturday to demand justice for Sundberg. What about justice for this lady? Are y'all going to fix her apartment? Is BLM going to donate money to this woman of color who probably has children of color? Are y'all going to fix her apartment? Are y'all going to donate some funds to get her apartment fixed from the shooting? Let's see. We're here. So they gathered outside the building on Saturday to demand justice for Sundberg. We're here, this is her quote, the Traherne Cruz. We're here to respect life, demand justice, and we're demanding the release of the body cam footage, Cruz chanted. But when Foss Yarbrough pulled her car up to the building, she unleashed on the protesters, who included Sundberg's parents. My kids, this is her statement, my kids have to deal with this and probably have a mental illness now because they almost lost their lives, she says. There's bullet holes in my kitchen because he sat in the effing hallway watching me move. He tried to kill me in front of my kids. And you're demanding that there's justice for a guy who tried to gun down innocent people, her, and potentially fatally wounding her kids? Right. Her quote, I have black children. I am a woman of color. Foss Yarbrough, who is of black, white, and native descent, yelled. If I had have lost my life, would you guys do this for me? That's what she said. And that is such a great question. Because black on black violence seems to get no emotions or care from BLM. They only care when a police officer kills a black man. But we have cities who have 50 and 70 shootings in a weekend and there's no march or protest. Come on, man. Hypocrisy at its finest. So when she asked them would they do that for her, the crowd said, yes, ma'am. I haven't seen it yet. Have y'all seen BLM cause any ruckus from black on black violence? I remember there was a black police officer killed by a white guy. BLM did not care. The Minneapolis police said they are working to release footage of the shooting to the public. The department said there were hundreds of hours of footage from more than 50 officers who responded to the scene. Sundberg's family said he was having a mental health crisis at the time of the shooting. So he was having a mental... How do you know? How do you know he was having a mental health crisis? Were you there? Did you talk to him before he did it? Was he off his meds? Should you be held liable since you knew he was having a mental health crisis? That's what I want to know. You say he was having a mental health crisis. That's why mental health is so important. And I know in the black community it's something that we don't like to talk about, but this guy from Ethiopia was adopted by white parents. And I know a lot of white parents, do push to get their kids medicated or send them to therapy, which I go to therapy now as an adult. And if my kids need it, they will go to therapy as well. I'm not so much on pushing medicine on them. So yeah, the 20-year-old shooter was adopted from Ethiopia and had many siblings, according to CBS Minnesota. Sundberg's parents were outside the building when Foss Yarbrough confronted the protesters. They said they empathized with their neighbor. So that was their neighbor. He lived next door, so I'm assuming he lived with his parents since they said that they were her neighbor. and you couldn't do anything, where were you at while this dude was shooting up stuff? You allowed your son, who you say suffers from mental health issues, have a pistol with an extended clip in your house? How smart does that sound? The mom of the deceased shooter said she wished she could wrap her arms around her and tell her I'm sorry. She was right there. Cindy Sundberg said, I am sorry she had to experience that. I am sorry for her pain. Tekel was an imperfect human, as we are all imperfect humans, and he did not deserve to be picked off like an animal from a rooftop, his mother said. No, what was not deserved was that lady to be in fear of her life with her 2 kids while she's trying to cook. That's what she did not deserve. Those innocent babies do not deserve to be scarred potentially for the rest of their life. Are you going to help with their therapist bills? Are you going to help with any medicine that they need for the rest of their lives? Like, what do you mean? When you shoot at an innocent person, if we're having a shootout, that's 2 different things. And me and you can't agree, and you pull out your gun and I pull out my gun, and we're both on equal grounds with guns, and we shoot at each other, you know. But when it's an unfair battle, when somebody's shooting at somebody unwarranted, at that point I don't care what happens to you. White, black, purple, green. Things that they try to push in the news are not about the ethnic. It's not an ethnic issue. It's not a race issue. It's not a color issue. It seems to be a mental health issue. It seems to be an accountability issue on parents. I don't care how old my kids get. If they live in my house, you got to follow my rules. I know you got mental health problems. I'm going to allow you to have an extended clip pistol. Like, are the parents not held accountable? They tried to make Kyle Rittenhouse mom accountable for his actions. 20 is still a baby. 20 is still a baby. This young man was still living with his parents. 20 is still a baby, man. Especially for guys. We don't really get mature until we're like 27. That's when it starts making sense. And we're like, oh, okay. I need to stop being a dumbass. I was a dumbass, my earlier 20 years. Now I'm finally becoming a man. So 20 years old to me is still a baby. When I was 20, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But I knew not to pull a gun out and shoot at innocent people. I didn't know that. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. This is a very interesting article to me. As you know, I love to challenge BLM. A lot of people say, oh, you're a coon, or you're a white man, or you're pushing the white man's agenda. No, what I'm doing is challenging an organization that says Black Lives Matter, but Black lives only seem to matter during certain circumstances, which does not seem right to me. As much money as BLM Incorporated makes, all Black lives should really matter. Not just when somebody's deceased at the hands of the police, and right here, this is a very justified killing. Whether he got sniped, whether they shot a barrage of bullets in there, he shot at an innocent mom. So I'm not going to sit here and have pity for somebody like that. I feel bad, if it was true he was having a mental health issue or a mental or some type of what do they call it, like what is it called? A mental breakdown. A mental breakdown. Like I feel bad if he was suffering from that, but if his parents knew he was suffering from that, how would you allow these actions to transpire? How do y'all feel about this? Y'all leave this in the comments. I really want to hear from y'all. I read a lot of the comments, man. Believe it or not, I read a lot of my comments. I see the hate, I see the love, and I appreciate both of them because at the end of the day, you watch my video, motherfucker. Whether you hate it or you love it, you watch my video, and I appreciate you. So continue to hate on me or continue to love me. Peace.